Now I'm going to do an absolute fabulous, one of my favourite summer desserts, okay? And it's a panna cotta. I have fresh berries, so I have some blackberries, raspberries, strawberries and blueberries. I have some raspberry coulis, some gelatine, some leaf gelatine, vanilla pod for a classic vanilla panna cotta, and just some sugar, some caster sugar. The first thing you need to do, we need 300 ml of cream. So I'm using the Avamore single cream. I'm using this Avamore single cream here, but you know, if you want to go for a lower fat option, this is there, it's perfectly fine. You can use the Avamore light cream as well, which is just as good. It's just obviously the fat content is a little bit lower. So you want 300 ml of the cream. Again, Avamore milk. I'm just going to use 200 ml of the milk. And again, you can use the lower fat milk as well. You don't have to use the full fat milk. So once you have 500 ml, you pour that into a pot. Now, to that, you need to add your vanilla pod. So 1 vanilla pod. So what you do is, you just cut down the length of the pod. And then what we want to do is you want to scrape the seeds from inside the vanilla pods. Okay, so you just get a knife and just run your knife down the centre, so you scrape all them seeds out of it, so you see them there on the tip of the knife, because that's where all the real strong vanilla flavour comes from. So it's important you scrape all them through. So then with the seeds and the pod, you add it into your milk and cream. Okay, so to make sure you get all the seeds off. So I use the pod just to push the rest of the seeds off, so I don't have any stuck to my knife. And then once you're happy they're all in, drop it all in. So I've got 75 grams of sugar. You can use caster or granulated sugar. Then you want to just bring that up to the boil. Bring it up nice and slowly so it gives the vanilla a chance to infuse in with the cream and milk, okay, so it takes on that lovely vanilla flavour. You want to soak your gelatin in cold water. So quite simply, get your sheet of gelatin, pop it into water, and you let it soak. It'll take about 10 minutes to soak, that's all it'll take. So it's a perfect time. Put your cream, milk, vanilla and sugar onto the boil, soak your gelatin, and just wait for it to come up, and by the time that's boiled, usually your gelatine's ready to go. So I'm just going to give this a whisk now, just to make sure all your sugar is completely dissolved and all your vanilla pods have broken up, so they haven't clumped together into, so I'm not just going to have one big clump of vanilla pods, so all these individual beans separate through the mixture. Just starting to bubble, just give it its final stir, just to make sure all the sugar is completely dissolved, and then you turn it off straight away. You don't want to overboil it, okay, and then by overboiling all the milk and cream will evaporate, and then you'll have a much fattier concentrated mixture. You just want to come up to the boil. The whole purpose is to infuse the vanilla into the milk and cream. That's basically all it is. So it's basically a custard. The difference with a custard, a normal custard, is a custard you would add the addition of eggs. This is a custard, but we're setting with gelatin as opposed to eggs. And that's basically what a panna cotta is. Okay, so once that's up to the boil, you get your gelatine leaf, your pre-soaked gelatin. Remove it from the water, and you can see now it's gone pliable, it's gone really soft and rubbery, okay? So you squeeze any of the excess water out of it. And then you add that straight into your boiled cream and milk solution. Give it a whisk just to make sure it's completely dissolved. And that's the importance of soaking it first. If you didn't soak it first, you just dropped it in non-soaked, it wouldn't dissolve properly. You'd have little specks and little bits going through, you know, and what will happen is then your panna cotta won't set. So it is very important to soak it first. So I'm happy now that's all mixed together. All you have to do now is pour it into your serving dishes, your moulds. I'm using a little metal little mould like so, because I'm going to tip it out after it's set. I'm going to pour it into these little moulds, set it up in the fridge. When it's set like jelly, I'll just tip it out into my serving dish, which you'll see later on. Pour them in there. I put about 90 mils a portion, you know. Listen, you do it to eye, of course, but you want to pop them in the fridge then and let them set. And it'll take about 3 to 4 hours to set. So now that they're set, all we're going to do now is plate them. Okay, so the presentation, which is always the fun part. Okay, so what I'm going to do, with your fresh berries that I have, I'm going to get your strawberry. Just cut the strawberry into little sections, okay. For the panna cotta now, to remove it from its mould, if you are removing from a mould, as I said, you can just pour it directly into a bowl and eat it from a bowl, but if you are decanting it from a mould, what you do is, you have some hot water, and then you just want to dip the bowl into the hot water, just long enough so you melt the outside, okay? You don't want to leave it in there because it'll turn back into a liquid state. Just long enough to dip it so it actually just slides out of the bowl nice and easily. I'm just going to dip it straight into this boiling water, and up, So that's about 3 or 4 seconds. And then here down with the, if I pull it away from the side, you can see it's gone loose. I can just pull directly away and you can see it's coming away from the side. So I know it's ready to tip out. And then I can just tip it out onto my hand. And you have that lovely, sexy wobble you get when you do a nice panna cotta, okay? So you drop this panna cotta directly into the centre. Put a blackberry on, strawberry, and if you notice I'm putting them all in the exact same position every time, okay? So strawberry, then blackberry, then I'll switch to a raspberry, and then finally I'll finish it off with a little blueberry. Okay, and with the raspberry coulis, sort of just spoon it directly over your fruit. Don't put it onto your panna cotta, just onto the side of your fruit. It'll find its own way around the bowl. And just drizzle it all around. It's absolutely beautiful. And the thing what makes this dessert and makes it really good is, you know, if you use really good high quality cream, and that's where Avonmore comes in. You know, it's the best Irish produce, the best quality creams in the market, and you can really taste the difference. It's the silky mouthfeel is amazing. Simple sprig of mint. It always makes a difference. Just brings a different colour. Pop that into the centre. There you have vanilla panna cotta, mixed berries, little raspberry coulis, and a sprig of mint. Perfect for a summer's day.